What's going on, everyone? Dalt here with Leasey Parts in the Scrap Life Garage. Welcome back to the channel. We have some more S2000 content, and this video is going to pick up kind of in a weird spot. This is not a video that I was planning on doing. This car just got dropped off. It came out of Georgia. I'm not quite sure where in Georgia. Funny enough, the driver was commenting. I'll have to see if maybe he took pictures. It had like blue wrap covering it. For whatever reason, they didn't put the top up. You can tell that they didn't put the top up because there's a giant puddle of water on the passenger floorboard. More importantly, I didn't realize until I was already pulling all that off that this thing is missing tons of stuff. And I had to go back and look at the auction pictures because it's missing stuff at the back end of the car here, which is very obvious, but the stuff inside is less obvious. It had it in the auction picture. This is something that we've had happen with Copart cars before, where they, you know, like, the owner of the car comes and gets some of their stuff out of it and they don't rephoto it. This is a whole nother level. So you gotta go grab Carrington. Carrington, you gotta come look at this thing.
I don't like that.
No, it's not good.
Okay.
What? UPS Eli. All right, we got the whole crew since we have some other S2000 experts. Do you guys notice anything missing on this car?
They didn't see it at auction.
Yeah.
I did.
On the body or what?
Just all over.
This.
Cluster is the first thing that I
cluster?
noticed. Is it radio? Steering wheel.
Did it have it had a steering wheel?
So.
No radio.
No radio.
No steering
There's
wheel.
no quick release in the steering wheel.
Why and all?
Oh, and it's not cut. They cut the harness. Oh my god. Jeez.
Pop the hood.
There was. It's already.
Oh, there you go. Glad, but we get glasses.
Yeah, that makes up for the the cluster that's missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god.
This is dirty. You didn't clean it.
All that looks normal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there was one picture of this car from the side. I'll send it to you. You can put it in the video.
So I can put it in there, okay.
It was like from this angle, and you could see that it didn't have a steering wheel on it. Every other picture, it had a steering wheel on it. So I kind of thought something was up, but in every picture it had wing, tail lights. You couldn't tell the cluster was gone, and you obviously could not tell that the radio was missing either.
Wait, but who responsible was running without the cluster?
It was not running.
Oh, okay.
Or it was running at some point.
Oh, it's missing that kick panel.
Are there any fish in there?
No, I don't. No, that's the ECU right there. It's got the ECU, but I wonder how much freaking water this thing got in it.
Hey, check it out. No soft top latches.
No wonder it wasn't latched.
Jeez.
Here, Fernando, put this thing up in the air. Oh, that might have been on. I wasn't looking at. That might have been just in the corner of the video.
You see the sticker on the center console? That's like a perfect example of this car. Like that. That's Copart to us.
Yeah, seriously.
Water is one thing. I see how the water happens, but like, come on.
Well, somebody got into this.
I already saw differential spacers. That looks nice.
What, the wheels hanging off there?
Yeah, like exactly. Wheel differential spacers.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, cool look.
Oh, it's got like the axle spacers or whatever. Wait, why does it need? It only has one though.
Really?
Yeah, it's got one, and then it doesn't have one there.
Wow. What is that?
Okay.
What a piece of
I don't
junk.
know actually. I don't know. It's so this really
All of this looks
I'm not sure.
fine. Like nothing there.
When you lower it, it messes with the CV joints. So you put those in there to get like geometry back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything underneath that looks weird. Like this is all just normal accident stuff.
Yeah. So this explains the actual auction weirdness too with this car. Day I bought this car, and I pre-bid this car. We didn't pay a ton of money for it, but I am positive it said it ran. Like,
Really?
I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I am 99.999% sure. When I went to look at it the next day after we won it, it wasn't there anymore. So it literally said nothing. It didn't say enhanced, obviously. It didn't say run and drive. I have never made that mistake before. I don't think I made it this time. I think something weird is going on with this car for sure.
Will it start without the cluster? Like,
No.
does it need the cluster to start?
I'm positive it does.
I'll try. Probably.
Grab a jump box real quick. Hook her on up, Fernando. Who wants to do the honors? Who's hopping in it? Eric, you NASCAR in it? Just watch that window. No, I don't think a door's gonna open. You're gonna literally have to go over the edge.
Bro, come on, Eric.
You gonna make me do it?
There's
All
the
right.
wall.
Is that right? Does he record poorly?
You're missing tape?
No, I got my feet up. I
Is it hooked up?
Yeah.
Cluster's not on.
Yeah, what's the mileage?
Yeah, it's got absolutely nothing. And it's hooked up?
Yeah, yes it is. Fernando has done it right.
It's got absolutely nothing. Are the headlights on?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
So it has power. I just flipped the headlight switch. The wipers work. It just has no. It's got no power.
Because the harness is cut?
Probably.
You got two harnesses on it,
So,
It's got no power to the starter. All right, time to call Copart. So like I said in the intro, this is not the first time that this has happened. This is the first time that it has happened to this magnitude. Normally what we see, Mustangs, it's very prevalent. We'll get the Gen 2 and 3 Mustangs that have the key fobs. They will show up without the key fobs. And what ends up happening is basically somebody goes walking through the lot and knows that the key fobs are, you know, whatever, used 75, 100 bucks, and just breaks the zip tie on the steering column because Copart does an awful job securing keys. I've never seen something to this degree where it's very obvious that somebody went through. I mean, they cut the gauge cluster clips on it. They didn't just remove it. We've seen where, again, we had a Camaro earlier this year. It was a 1 Elite Camaro, actually, that had a set of like red, like Brom racing seats in it. And what happened with that is it showed up without seats. The insurance company allowed the owner of the car to come and get the seats. He was supposed to supply the OEM seats and he didn't. The car was supposed to get rephotoed and it just didn't happen. So that was a little bit different scenario. That was just an error on Copart's part. This is very obviously theft, and it's theft at the yard because there's different photos that show different states of the car, which is very interesting. Normally, a lot of this stuff happens post-photo. This was also somebody that came prepared because you can see that they either were pretty ballsy and had a lot of time with the car, but a lot of the stuff that they took is stuff of value, requires pretty much all the same tools. I think you're looking at roughly an 8, maybe a 10 millimeter, a screwdriver, and then a set of dikes. I forgot probably the most important set of tools that you would need is probably a set of picks to get that airbag out, maybe a set of Torx. I'm not sure on the S2000s which one it is. Also, whatever, like a 21, 22, 24 millimeter socket, and probably an impact gun. I mean, I guess you probably could do it with a big breaker bar, but I mean, those things are on there tight, so you had to do something to get that steering wheel nut that bolted to the column off. They came prepared. They knew what they were going after, and the fact that you have all of these high dollar pieces, I mean, gauge cluster, AP2 gauge cluster is probably a solid $750. Steering wheel with airbags, probably 400 bucks. I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go for the AP2 center console here. That is a little bit confusing to me because those are high value too, but it's also a little bit bigger in size, so maybe that was a concern because, you know, the taillights, well, the wing's relatively big too, so however they got that out, that's not something you just stuff in a book bag and go out of the lot without anybody noticing. I mean, that thing is 4.5 feet, 5 feet wide. Normally in these situations, the times that we've dealt with it before, Copart doesn't work with you. They give you two options. You either keep the car and you pay what you paid for the car and just take the loss essentially, or they offer to buy the car back. You have to get it to one of their lots and then they, I guess, just refund you. We've never gone through that process with a car before, but this thing is missing, as I just outlined, is missing 750, 400. That wing is like 750. I mean, right there is almost $2,000. Tail, I mean, this thing's missing more than $2,000 in parts, and that is a big deal. That's not just something that you kind of sweep under the rug and say, oh yeah, we'll make enough money on it. As you guys have seen in Carrington salvage stories, that's a good chunk of where the profit is on these cars. So there's no way that you can take $2,000+ out of that car and have it still be a good deal for us. We would, you know, grossly overpay if that were the case. So it's the next day. Alex called Copart first thing this morning before I got in, and this is what Copart had to say.
I ended up talking to the lot manager down at Atlanta. He was actually very confused. He told me that they don't normally have issues with theft, they don't normally have issues with anything like this, but they have requested to take the car back. So on this one, Copart's actually being kind of helpful. Typically they tell you to pound sand, get out of there. They authorized it to go to the local lot. We drop it off, give them the title, and they'll do a complete refund on it.
It's Alex from Leasy Parts with the S2000. I just wanted to let you know we are loading it up and we're gonna go drop it at the Baltimore East lot today with the title. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good day. Yep, bye.
Yeah, you're good.
Can hopefully do it with this Saga here. The process seems to be pretty straightforward. Handed over the title. You saw that they just picked the car right off the trailer. Hopefully that's the end of this here. Basically, we're gonna get an account credit back, and you know, we buy enough cars that it'll probably be gone a week from now. Definitely a unique scenario. In all the years that we've been doing this, we haven't run into a issue like this where we've had to have Copart buy a car back from us. It looks like they are indeed going to make the situation right here. That's really all that we can ask for. So we're out a little bit of time and energy driving up here. Unfortunately, we were trying to buy a car at a local lot to justify the trip, since we could have dropped it off anywhere, but that just didn't pan out. Definitely stay tuned, guys. Coming up, we have a lot of great content. Right now, Carrington is on a road trip in the 1500 horsepower twin turbo R8. He is headed down to Atlanta. He is driving the thing over the next couple days, going to be hitting up a bunch of different stops, caffeine and octane on Sunday. It should make for a great video, or maybe even multiple videos, depending on how much he gets into. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. Amongst other things, several great salvage storied videos that Carrington has in the works right now, with some cool cars that we have coming through the shop. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you in the next video.